Welcome back in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. 8 a.m. Friday, November 14th. It's a Max Ball Friday. Any games you want to get to, questions you might have about those games, 800-239-9569 if you want to get in. 800-239-WJOX. At Mac and Cube, you can tweet into the show. You can also text into the show, 205-834-9450. Hastings is on hold, wants to talk college football. Welcome in, Hastings.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm in a bad spot, so I'm going to make this as fast as possible. But at what point did all these Bama fans think that AKD are now getting more reps, which is what the rumor is going to save the running game? I feel like it's a wash and repeat of when Daniel Hill came in late against Tennessee and got maybe 3 or 4 decent runs, and everybody was anointing him the next big back. Am I missing something here? I don't think there's a fix, and I'm okay with that. I think that we got to play. But also, one of the best parts of Oklahoma's defense is the run defense. I don't think you're going to have a lot of success there anyways, and I think their weakness is the secondary. But am I missing something here, guys? Like, do we need to keep trying to fix this? And is AK Deer the answer, or is there something that I'm not seeing that we've had this running back on our team all season, but yet now he's the answer? So I'll hang up and listen. Appreciate y'all taking my call. Thanks.
Thank you, Hastings. I think at this point in the season, Greg, you want to always continue to try to improve on things. I don't think you're reinventing yourself, or there's a part of your game that's not a strength that all of a sudden you can create into a strength this late in the year, but you can definitely get better at things.
I mean, I don't have any reason to believe AK Deer is going to all of a sudden come off the bench and save the day. Doesn't mean he's not going to be a good player in time. I think the staff is really excited about the depth and the youth they have in that position. I think they feel really good about it. I've met with them. This is now my 4th game. I'll meet with them for the 4th time. Spent time with Caitlin and the staff before the season, and they like the depth they have at running back a lot. Even after the injury to Jam Miller, they're like, hey, man, this stinks. Like, Jam is great. The good news is we have some guys back there that we think will, in time, become very good. But here's my thing. I'm not sure where they're getting this information, but there's nothing I've heard that would lead me to believe that AK Deer is all of a sudden going to take over and start getting the lion's share of the carries. I mean, is it possible? Perhaps. But I don't think that the running back position by itself can exclusively be lifted up just by that. I think running the football requires 11 guys doing the right thing. And not all 11 have been on the same page all the time this year. So how do you see it, Cole? Is it a running back switch away from all of a sudden becoming a huge difference? I mean, all we've seen AK Deer is against ULM. And to me, with all due respect to the Warhawks, not exactly comparable to what you'll see with Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know you mean it in being a little bit facetious. It's just it's not a real thing. Like there are very few running backs that can come in and just make a group right, no matter what they are. I mean, if you put Adrian Peterson behind some of these offensive lines that we see that are struggling in today's college football, he's not running for 280 a game. Like he's not. Be better than what they got.
He was pretty good.
He's be better than what they got, but it's not going to be consistently clean, consistently smooth. He's not going to be getting the linebackers untouched. That's not how it's going to go. This is why my first question for you after that was going to be, does this offense need to be saved? Because you said he's not going to come in and save the day. I don't think there is a saving of the day. And we've talked about this a lot, that you kind of have to be a resident in that neighborhood if that's what you want to be and how you want to live. And it's okay that Alabama doesn't necessarily live there. You don't have to live there to be good at football. I mean, hell, today's day and age, the proof is in the pudding all over the place, that you don't have to be a dominant run team to go win a national championship. A&M fans got really mad at me when I said this the other day. I think I said on Josh's show when we were talking about running the football, and I was like, give me the dominant run teams that are national championship contenders right now. Ohio State? No. Indiana? Not dominant. They're a good running football team, but they're also a balanced football team. Alabama, no, we're talking about them. Georgia's not. Texas Tech isn't. Ole Miss is not. Oregon is not. Notre Dame can be, I think. And they've had some issues with injuries on the offensive line and other things of that nature to where they might not be to the extent that they were at points last year or even could have been this year. But they're probably the closest that we have. Texas? Absolutely not. Oklahoma? Are you kidding? No. So, and even Utah, a lot of their rush yards come in. I mean, Dampierre's a guy that just kind of sits back there. Utah deserves to be in contention for the Joe Moore Award just based on the patience they have with their quarterback. Like he'll just sit back there and wait on things and like start drifting right and left. I mean, he even picks up a lot of stuff for them. And they have quarterback run, and they have a glorified miniature guard playing fullback tight end for him half the time. So they even have extra help. I mean, honestly, Greg, if we were mentioning in teams that are contending for the playoff, I won't say national championship here, but playoff, that have a chance to, in a playoff run, be a dominant rushing football team, would you agree that Vanderbilt would be in the top 3 of that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so that's where we are right now, collectively. That's where it is. So I don't look – other teams that are not far from what we're talking about that are dominant in the run game. Iowa, dominant in the run game. Okay? Georgia Tech, are they dominant in the run game? They're a good running football team, but dominant to me means you're going to be able to do it against anybody no matter what they're running. To an extent. You're not going to go run for 500, but your run game is not going – we're not going to look at the box score and it's going to be 28 for 32 yards. And so, I thought Miami was going to have it this year, but that's kind of come and gone. That's been inconsistent. So, I mean, if the reason that that's frustrating for me to, like, hyper-focus on this is what's your counter to that? So you look at this and you say, they ain't going to win if they don't run the ball. They better figure that run game out, or what? Because if your or what is they won't win a national title, then no one's winning a national title. Seriously. Who is going to go out and win a national championship this year because of their run game primarily? I'll wait.
There isn't one.
So
because you look at all the best teams in the country, like how many teams, best teams in the country now we're talking here. How many teams that are among the tops in the entire country are capable of just getting absolutely gashed on the ground?
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking through it now. Like, not Ohio State, not Indiana.
No.
I know what people say about A&M, but I also feel like in a playoff setting, they could alter that a little bit to where they're not going to give up the bigger runs, and a lot of their bigger runs have been given up late in games, which I'm not overly concerned about. Not Alabama, not Georgia, not Texas Tech. I don't even think Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss's front, I worry more about their back end. I think their front's a lot better. Their front seven's a lot better than people give it credit for. Not Oregon, not Notre Dame. Not really Texas, I don't think. Definitely not Oklahoma. So, I mean, not if we wanted to keep going, not Miami, not Utah. None of these teams are going to get gutted on the ground. And that doesn't mean that we won't get a matchup that doesn't favor a team and, you know, how they operate either with some gap scheme runs or stretch zone or quarterback run and how they implement things, or even just being down a guy at a spot that all of a sudden opens up the run game for somebody else. But right now, I don't look at it, Greg, and say, yeah, if that team catches a team that can run the ball, they're in really big trouble. Like there's no shot they're going to win that game. So even further to the point of obsessing with this run game. Now, to me, the concerns come more in situational football. So if you're Alabama and you're going to make a playoff run and you're going to make a national championship run, you know good and well like I do, there are going to be 3rd and 2s, 4th and 1s. There are going to be goal line situations, 4th and goal, 4th and goal from the 2, whatever it is, or even just trying to run the clock out, which I would almost say right now, Ryan Grubb and his trick plays might be one of your biggest strengths in 4-minute offense of keeping the clock running and keeping your offense on the field. Since I feel like he's done that about 3 times this year. So it's just something else for teams to think about because, 1, he ain't afraid to call it in big moments, and 2, he's going to have something different every week. Those are the things that I would be worried about. If you're talking about how that could maybe prevent them from winning it all or winning big, is the moments that those gotta-have-it moments to continue a drive, to pick up a first down, to be able to run the clock out on the road in a playoff game to win a game. Being down inside the red zone against a team that has good coverage skills, and it's like you're going to have to run the football to get points on that drive. Like, those are the things that I think you look at and say, all right, this is where that could be a problem. But this generality of Alabama's not going to win anything if they can't learn to run the ball, I just feel like I'm so less concerned about it than so many other people. And I'm an O-line guy. I'm an old school guy. I love watching people run the football. But I also see how this offense operates. And I just, because of what else is at their disposal, specifically because the quarterback can handle it all, I don't think it's – by the way, whose run game is better, Alabama or Missouri?
Missouri.
How much better on a scale of like 1 to 10 if you're rating the defenses, how much better is the Alabama defense than the Missouri defense?
Probably comparable.
Whose team would you rather have? I mean, I don't even need to ask the question. I don't even have to ask it. So, like, those are 2 teams that I think are a perfect litmus test for what we're talking about. Missouri has an incredible run game. They have actually 2 really good backs. The offensive line's not near what it was last year, but they have a great run scheme. You and I both love it. Everything that they put into it with the movement and the formations and building off the stretch play, we absolutely love it. They're not as good a team as Alabama. And the defenses, I agree. I think the defenses are really close. So, okay. I mean, to me, it's not this do or die item, specifically this year in college football, that is going to determine whether or not you can win a national championship. Will there be moments? Absolutely, there will be. We've seen those moments for Alabama this year in certain games where the must-have moments where they had to pick up short yardage situations and not always been inside zone or duo to go out there and pound their way to it. But all in all, I just don't think that this is some make or break as far as a SEC or national championship of if they don't get up to 155 rushing yards a game, they're done.
No. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of being able to run the football is being able to take advantage of numbers, correct? Like, we all know that running the football forces the defense to account for the run, which hopefully drags a safety into the box, which, guess what? Opens up things in the passing game and forces the defense to dictate coverage. Here's why it's not as big a deal. Because Ty Simpson is smart. Not every quarterback's smart, by the way. Not every quarterback's great. Not every quarterback's great in the pre-snap. Like, you know why people look back at our team in 09 or whatever, 10, what have you. Why do you think we ran the ball so well? We had a good O-line. We had really good backs. But guess what? We also had a quarterback that was really smart, that knew what fronts that we needed to run into, and knew which side the run needed to go towards. So we ran into favorable situations most of the time. No, it's not a brag. It's just I was good at that. That was what I was good at. It's just acknowledging one of the things that I was good at, you know? So people are like, oh, well, we got to throw the ball to win. Well, not when you're running to favorable looks on all the run plays. Hey, this look is really conducive to running duo. Hey, this is a look that we really would like to adjust to a counter. Hey, you know what? We love stretch zone against this. We can't run power to this. We need to bounce it outside with a pin and pull to this. You know, things like that. Well, guess what they're doing this year? Well, they're not as worried about the run game because guess what? Hey, this route works really good against this look. So check to this route. This route looks really good against man. So if we have man, check to this route. Hey, you know what? This is a matchup route. Find the best matchup and make it work. And if they give you too high, then check to a run and we'll live to play 2nd and 7. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Right now, the run game is almost like the answer to just get out of a possible jam and to keep you honest. Like they start an empty formation all the time. What do they do that for? So that they can get an indicator of what the defense is doing. So they'll make adjustments. Now, if you don't have a quarterback that's capable of being smart in the pre-snap, then you got to run with what you got. So you better be able to run the football. You better be able to throw the football, because if they give you 2 high safeties, you got to run. If they give you 1 high safety, you got to throw. Pretty simple. But when you have a quarterback that can actually diagnose coverage and find the appropriate route to take advantage of said coverage, you don't need to worry so much about the run game. The run game's your get out of jail free card. Like, hey, they got us on this one. They are 100% defending the pass. Hand it off and let's just live to play second down. We'll get to the next down. So that's where they're at right now. That's why I'm not super concerned about it. Like, you got to still be willing to do it. And I would like to, in a perfect world, scare them to death, because then you really have a lot of freedom in the passing game to create big advantages from a matchup standpoint. But you know what? Such is life. Like, they're better at throwing it, and their quarterback's really smart. So I think you got to give some credit there and acknowledge that that's hard to defend. A lot of teams run the ball. Not a lot of teams have a quarterback that can tell you, yep, we're going to check to our man beater every time. We're going to check to our blitz beater every time. We're going to check to our bunch route, option schemes every time. We're going to run mesh concepts when I see man. Like that's what they're doing. And I don't think the next level football brain sees it. The average consumer thinks, oh, well, we can't do this, so we stink. And don't worry. That's what we're here for. That's why this show exists.
M. Rocks tweets into the show. At Cole Cubelic, Bama Rush defense, quote, per game average stats. Since season start, 139.1. Since Vanderbilt, 122. Last 3 games, 104. First off, I don't know if this is – I don't know. Did I somehow put the Alabama rushing defense down? I don't remember mentioning them. But nonetheless, if the takeaway here is the last 3 games, Alabama's given up 104 rushing yards per game, you have played 2 teams that have literal no pulse in the rushing game in South Carolina and LSU. One which almost refuses to hand the football off. And then Tennessee, a team that I feel like can be, at times, pretty good run the football. So forgive me if I'm not going to pee in my pants over your rush defensive numbers against South Carolina and LSU. I don't know what I did here, but those are not the 2 games that I'm going to go base a team's rush defense clout on this year. One that can't block Greg and Damian, and the other that refuses to hand the football off on a consistent basis. So I'm going to pass on being the ultimate judgment of who you are as a rush defense. I don't even know what I did to make people mad about Alabama's rush defense. Have we even discussed that today?
I don't understand why that is applicable to what we're talking about.
It was a couple minutes ago, but I'm not real sure.
Oh, well, I'm trying to figure out, are we even talking about Alabama's rush defense? We're talking about defense and, what they do well. I think Alabama's rush defense, if you really look at it, if you really want to, same situation of what you deal with A&M. You think A&M can stop the run if they want to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably. The A&M also gave up 200-plus to UT San Antonio. Why? Because they didn't fit it properly earlier in the season. If you actually look at Bama's run defense lately, they're fitting it a little better. And Tennessee did get some yards, but it was really on a couple big plays. And Alabama has given up a couple big plays, and they got to iron that stuff out. You'd like to be tackling better maybe at the second level, tackling better at the third level. They do miss some tackles at times, but they fit it better the last handful of games, and it's been better as a result. So I do think that's a group that will probably get even better as the season goes along. It's not easy, but I do think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about Bama's rush defense. Are you worried about their rush defense?
No, not particularly. That being
Frankly,
said,
this game
I am not going to place them on a pedestal.
Rush games left.
I'm not going to place them on a pedestal for what they've done against the South Carolina offense and the LSU offense. So, sorry for that. But is what it is. All right. Listen, if you're lacking sleep, lacking energy, Game Day Men's Health wants to help you. It's easy. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. Sign up for the free consultation. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com now. Free PSA test, free testosterone test, all your baseline. They're going to let you know where your health is. This is a holistic approach to health and wellness. The bigger difference here is minimal upfront cost for the programs that they offer at Game Day Men's Health. So just go in, let them take a look at you, get all those tests taken care of at no charge, let them present the options. You save 10% on any option they have by mentioning Mac and Cube in the morning right there at Game Day Men's Health. Open now in Trustville. It's GameDayMen'sHealth.com, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Some of your reaction, 800-239-9569 if you want to get in on the Bama Rush offense, the Bama Rush defense. More on that game right after this on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 8:24, Friday, November 14th. I'm in Columbia, Missouri, getting set for Mississippi State at Missouri Saturday night on the SEC Network. GMAC will be on Oklahoma at Alabama this weekend. 800-239-9569 if you'd like to get into the show. Tweet in at Mac and Cube. Can always be a part of the show there. Beham Dog wants to chime in next. Dog, what's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So maybe I am wearing my Bulldog living on my sleeve this morning, but Greg, you were calling. It sounds like you were calling for a Texas upset, and if I remember correctly,
Yes.
this might be maybe the third time that you called for an upset over over Georgia. I maybe didn't call it upset from Mississippi State. You're 1-1. So you referenced Texas coming off a bye week. You know, this is like the fourth time Georgia faced a team coming off a bye week. You said maybe it's time to give Alabama credit where credit's due. I think it's about time we give Georgia credit. And I'm not one to come in and just brag about I'm not a homer. Never have been. I think you guys know that from my calls. But if you go back and look at the last three games that Georgia played and the last three games Alabama played, I would almost bet that Georgia has been the better team, and I would almost say Gunnar Stockton has been the better quarterback. Would you agree or disagree? Take the last three games, and both of them had a bye in there.
Been great. I think Georgia's been great the last couple of weeks. I said, and by the way, I don't think I picked Florida outright. I just took Florida in the points, so I guess I'm 2-0.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
With picks against Georgia. No, I think Florida. The Florida game was a good indicator. I mean, I think they've progressed a lot. I like their offense. I just don't love Georgia's defense, dog. If I'm going to be honest, that's my concern. I don't think they have a pass rush. I don't think they have a lot of twitch. I think their linebackers are very good. I love their linebackers, and I've seen multiple times this year where the linebackers have taken over the game, and they can and will if you allow them to. I think their defensive line is completely unrecognizable from what we've come to expect from the Georgia defensive line. And I think the back end is fine. I don't think it's elite. And I think because the front hasn't been able to provide a rush, the back end at times has gotten exposed against good weapons. So I like Georgia. I do. I think they're really good. I love Gunnar Stockton. Absolutely love Gunnar Stockton. But I think Texas is a pretty good matchup against them with what Texas has at wideout, with how Texas has improved at quarterback, and with how Texas has improved along the offensive line.
No, I agree with you. I think Texas may be playing their best ball. I think Arch Manning may be playing his best ball over the last 3-game span. So, yeah, and look, I also understand that you can lose every single week in this league, not just in this league. Florida State beat Alabama, so you can be got at any point if you don't play. But you have been very high on Gunnar Stockton, but it just seems like you've been very low on this Georgia team. And when has the pass rush cost us a game? And is this the game that's going to cost us? It cost us. I guess you could say it cost us Bama, but it took Ty Simpson literally almost being perfect in the first half to win by a field goal. So anyway, it's just I was having my heart on my sleeve this morning, guys, and we'll see how it goes. And have a great weekend. Go Dogs.
Hold on a second, B-Dog. Do you remember the other games that Greg picked the upset over Georgia in?
It might have. I know he mentioned something about Mississippi State, and he could be. He's probably right. He probably just picked maybe a sneaky game. It just seems like he's been very down on Georgia.
Oh, you know
pretty
what?
much from preseason.
Tennessee?
Maybe Tennessee.
I think I took
Ole
Tennessee.
Miss. Might have been Ole Miss.
I think we both took Tennessee. I know he didn't pick Mississippi State.
No, I took Georgia against Ole Miss.
About that one.
Yeah. Was it Ole Miss?
I took Georgia against Ole Miss. No, I took Georgia against Ole Miss.
Well, I stand corrected in my
and
bad.
partly because I thought Gunnar Stockton would ball out, and he did. So I called the Auburn game. Didn't have a choice on that. Took Bam outright. I think I took Tennessee. I can't remember. But anyways, it's beside the point. Like, I think Georgia's the weird thing about it is Georgia's offense is far scarier than Georgia's defense, and that's a hard thing for me to wrap my head around. It's just uncomfortable. I'm not really sure how else to feel about it. It's uncomfortable to know that that's the side of the ball I trust more. And I think Texas.
Would you say the same thing about Alabama, though?
No, because I've seen
Their
Bama's
offense is
defense
scarier
not
than
be
their
as
defense?
dominant. Yeah, but Bama's defense. I mean, Bama's offense was a lot scarier than their defense in 18. Bama's offense was a lot scarier than their defense in 20. Bama's offense has been a lot scarier than their defense for about 7 years.
It's been a slower burn for Bama getting to this point than Georgia.
I don't want to get caught up in the analytics and the stats behind it, but if you look at the overall total defense, I believe Georgia's actually better from the number standpoint than Alabama defensively.
Well, they're not playing this weekend. Texas is better defensively than Georgia. That's the concern. So if Bama and Georgia were playing this weekend, I understand your point of being able to draw the comparison.
Say that again, Cole.
They're
Alabama
playing
has
Texas,
a better scoring
and I don't.
defense than Georgia does.
Gotcha.
Georgia better.
Answer me
Overall
this,
total
Cole.
defense?
In total defense, Alabama is 303. Georgia is 311.
Okay.
It's close.
Okay.
But it's not enough
almost
to
shut up then.
not enough to bang the drum. No, those
No,
are
they're
so
third and fourth in
comparable.
the
Those are
SEC in
same.
total defense, and actually Georgia gives up
Yeah,
less yards
those
per
are-
play than Alabama does.
It's
Those
because
are
we've
the
been
exact
torched
same.
by
That's not even worth it.
by the passing. That's what inflates that number to where it's at, because we have been torched through the air. So
Well, so is Bama
All
at
right,
times.
guys.
Tennessee got some cheap yardage, and there's been some others. Here's
Thanks,
the thing.
dog.
I think Texas matches up really well with Georgia. I just like the matchup for the Horns. The teams that have given Texas a lot of problems this year are tenacious up front. They are really good rushing the quarterback, no? So I don't think Georgia can do that. I don't think they can hit Arch Manning. I don't think they're going to be able to apply the pressure that Kentucky applied. They're not going to be able to apply the pressure that Florida applied. That, to me, that's the biggest concern, is that the only time Arch has been really flustered is when he's been hit. And he got hit against Ohio State, he got hit against Florida, he got hit against Kentucky. And that's, to me, a bit of a concern. I think if he has time, he can carve you up. And I don't know if Georgia's going to be able to get home. And then defensively, I think, yes, Texas gave up some big plays against Vandy. Texas got torched a couple times on big plays against Mississippi State. But I do think that Texas matches up pretty well against Georgia. Cole, how do you see the matchup?
The problem with that is, which, by the way, Alabama is actually second in the SEC in pass defense at 164 yards a game. Georgia would be 8th. Again, not that they're playing this week, so that the comparison doesn't matter that much. The thing for me, though, I agree with you that individually Georgia hasn't really found that guy. But here's how I think Georgia can still affect Arch Manning and what Texas does. What does Texas rely on heavily in the passing game?
Quick game, catch and runs, screens.
Definitely screens. That's one, and that would not be necessarily where I was headed here. But actually, I think Georgia's defense plays screens fairly well because they retrace
Very well, because they see it all the time.
They tackle well. Yeah, they tackle well. The other part, though, in protection, Texas, heavy slide protection team, heavy pull protection team. That opens up opportunities to get to the quarterback. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Cassius Howell or Jarvis Jones or somebody of that name, Will Anderson, to be able to get to the quarterback. You got to compress that space, close 2 gaps quickly, and pull protection. And we've had all the conversations on earth about slide protection. Georgia still runs their pressures with precision. And Georgia still has guys that understand how to open things up, and they play fierce. They play with tenacity on defense. They might not have the physical freak shows that they've had, but they still do those things, and they do them fairly well. So I think they can have some success getting to Arch Manning. I think a lot of that's going to depend on how well they negate screens and quick throws to the perimeter early. Because if they're slowing those down, and just like we talked about with Stanford Steve, I've been saying it all year, if you tackle them, then you force them into more of a regular drop-back game. And that's where I think Georgia can find some success. And a lot of that is going to be determined by how Texas tries to protect it, because I think some of the pressures that they run are advantageous against how they're going to try to pick it up. And this is just stylistic matchups, schematic matchups, and how you try to block it versus how we try to get to you. So I do think that that's very possible for Georgia to do in this game. I think they'll have some success with that, because I don't think Texas is just going to be able to run the football. They're not. And the other part of, I know the Cole Hudson move has helped them out a little bit on the offensive line, but Georgia's defensive front seven might not be great, might not be what it used to be. Texas's offensive line is not very good. So I'll usually lean on the defensive.
It's better than it was 4 weeks ago, though.
A little bit, yeah. but still, with an average offensive line and an average defensive line, which I can't believe I'm calling Georgia's defensive line average. I don't really mean that. But it's more in comparison to what it's been before. I'll take the defensive line that I know plays hard. Yeah, I'll take the D-line that I know plays hard because you just have more advantages. More things can go wrong for the offense there. So I don't think Arch Manning's just going to be sitting in the pocket picking this team apart tomorrow. I don't see that taking place. We got plenty more time to discuss it, though. We'll get back into that. Some of your reaction coming in via @MacandCube also. 800-239-9569 if you want to get in. Before we get out, Greg, tell our listeners about Crocker Moving Services.
Well, Crocker Moving Services is a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. You can trust them in your home when they need your whole home packed up and moved. Your company headquarters moved across country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. These guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you purchased and need to get to your home. So call or visit them online today for a free quote. The website's crockermovingservices.com. That's crockermovingservices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Services for your next move.
Okay, we will come back to this game and a couple of other games right after this right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. 800-239-9569. 800-239-WJOX. Thoughts on some of these games coming up. It is a Max Ball Friday, so we'll get your thoughts on the games that we feel are important. A couple around the state. North Texas 8-1 at UAB, 1 o'clock on ESPN Plus. UAB now at 3-6. South Alabama's at ULM, 2-7. Jags take on the 3-6 Warhawks. That's 2:30 on ESPN Plus. Florida A&M at 4-5 will be at Alabama A&M tomorrow at 2. Alabama A&M at 4-6, and then 7-2 Alabama State gets 1-8 Mississippi Valley State tomorrow at 2 o'clock as well. So games happening all over college football. Before we get to the rest of these games, Greg, tell our listeners about Canty.
Well, Canty can fix it. CANTEY, canfixit.com. That's the website. That's where you can find all the information that you need on Canty Foundation Specialists. Here in Alabama, there's a million different factors that can lead to foundation problems for your home. Crawl space, basement, concrete solutions are all taken care of and repaired by Canty Foundation Specialists. If you notice cracks in the walls or floors, you notice cracks around the windows and doors, maybe those doors and windows aren't sticking properly, not closing properly, and if you notice that maybe concrete on your driveway or walkway is a bit uneven, that might be an indicator of foundation problems. Canty Foundation Specialists offer free inspections and estimates so homeowners know exactly what's going on under their house, and their work is backed by lifetime transferable warranties. So call them today at 205-509-3991 or go online to Canty Can Fix It. That's CANTEY, canfixit.com.
I was walking through, I had to go through Chicago last night and through O'Hare. And I don't know the last time you've been through there, GMAC, but I remember seeing this before. And they have like the big orange eye, like kind of, I guess it's kind of like an advertisement, but it's almost like a statue, like for Illinois.
Yeah.
And I asked this question on Instagram, and I was just kind of like curious, messing around, because I like doing this sometimes when you see random things, specifically with college football. Let me send you guys a photograph real quick, and then I want all three of you to tell me, like, answer the question that I asked. You're walking through the airport, you see this. I'll send this to the group, and we can tweet this out as well from the Mac and Cube account. So for those of you listening to the show that can't see it right now in our group chat, you can give us your thoughts. Who's the first player that comes to mind when you see this? It doesn't require thought. It's just literally the first player that comes to your mind.
Yeah, I mean, Dick Butkus.
Okay. That was actually, believe it or not, that was the most popular answer, which I was surprised about.
Really?
Mine was Rashard Mendenhall. I don't know why.
Really? That is so random.
I got Juice Williams.
That would not have been my
Juice
guess.
Williams a good one.
Mine
That's
went
a really
basketball. I went Darren Williams.
Oh, cool.
Swear.
All right, it's a proud basketball program.
On an
I get
all-ball
it. Like,
Friday.
Listen, that's the first thing that popped in my
not
head.
Kofi Coburn?
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
Darren Williams
he's
is
a
the first
damn
thing
good
that popped in my
player.
head.
Okay. Well, if I asked you first football player to pop in your brain, who would it be?
Rashard Mendenhall.
Yeah. My next one would have been Simeon Rice after that.
My next
And
one would
then
have been Juice Williams.
That was a good one. And then maybe, unfortunately, Luke Altmaier.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a big difference.
What's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, he's a current quarterback, so it's
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him on film. You hear his name a lot, so I mean, he's kind of prevalent right this second.
No,
So,
no Red Grange love.
you know, I hadn't seen the tape.
Oh, Red
Darn.
Grange.
Have not seen the
Little
tape. Not even
before
sure if
our
there was
time.
tape. Did they have tape? Is there tape? Is the real question there. So
Yeah, it was,
I don't know,
it was the actual, like, tape itself, like physical tape.
okay, all right. Well, the most popular answer by far was Dick Butkus. Like that was the one. Some people were actually uncertain of themselves. They're like, Dick Butkus question mark? I was like, yes, actually, got it. Chase
Definitely
Brown.
Dick Butkus.
Chase Brown was up there. Vontae Davis, Jerzon Newton were up there. Couple Red Grange.
Oh,
I did get a Kofi Coburn. I did get a Josh McCray and a Luke Ford.
got some variety.
What about Brad Underwood, the coach?
Didn't get that one. It should be though, just based on his
'Cause after
post-game press conferences.
After seeing him seeing him last year when Illinois played here and we went to the game in Birmingham, He's my favorite coach. One of my favorite coaches in college basketball. I love that guy. He is hilarious. I mean, his mannerisms on the bench are unbelievable.
No, his post-game pressers are even better. Like he's
hysterical.
When he's on fire, there's not too many guys that are that are better than Red A. Brad Underwood. That's for sure. One of the best there is.
He's amazing.
So,
love that guy.
I don't know. I love like just thinking about things like that. Like when you see a team or a helmet, it's like who's the first person that comes to mind? And obviously we don't talk a ton of Illinois here. Not that we shouldn't, but just they've had some decent runs. They've had some all-time greats at different positions, and just kind of curious what everybody thought that would be.
Cole's tried. He's been high on him for a couple of years.
Yeah, nobody went Bielema, by the way, which is interesting.
No.
Yeah, I guess that means he doesn't have his signature win. He's not the face of the program yet.
Bielema, in my eyes, is still at Arkansas. That's what I'm going with. Yeah. Bielema will always embody Arkansas football. When he's got
I don't know if I'll ever view
passes.
Bielema as not. I don't know if I'll ever view him as not like a Wisconsin guy. Like that's just
First name.
No, that's definitely the first. Definitely the first.
He's the
Bielema,
one that.
How long was he there?
I thought it was like 8 years.
At Wisconsin. 10 years?
He had multiple.
Was it that long?
He had multiple stints, didn't he?
No, I think he was just there for a straight shot.
He was the DC from 04 and 05, and then the head coach from 06 to 12.
So he was there for 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
7 years as the head coach. He was at Arkansas for 5. That's hilarious when you think about it. He's been at Illinois as long as he's been at Arkansas, and is just 2 years away from being as long as he was at Wisconsin. Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
I don't feel like it.
That is crazy to think about.
That is wild.
He taught us he was the first coach we had on that did the catchphrase going out.
Woo pig?
Woo pig?
No, we had him on when we did ILL.
Oh, is that their catchphrase?
Yeah, he was the first one, and they were like, "Oh, we got to start paying attention to coaches and their catchphrases." We usually would hang up, "Hey, we'll see you next time."
Love that.
How many Big Ten titles do you think you won?
2?
3?
3.
3. Wow.
Are they in a row?
Tack on a Big Ten Leaders Division title.
Oh yeah, the legends and leaders, baby.
Who didn't remember that?
Big Ten Coach of the Year in 2006. It's had a pretty good run.
He
131 and 83 overall as a head coach.
Yeah.
He can coach him for sure.
I mean, think about where they were before he got there. I mean, I don't think that. I feel like they were struggle bus before he got there. Am I wrong on that?
Was it Barry Alvarez
at Illinois?
At Illinois, yeah,
Illinois.
Not Wisconsin. No, Wisconsin was in a great spot.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not going to try to say that.
I'm about to say I don't think Wisconsin was on hard times, but I'd have to go back and check the tape. Illinois was struggle bus. It was
Lovie Smith was before him.
Yeah, I'm trying to find his overall record.
He was never above 500.
Mm.
Neither were the two coaches prior to him, including Tim Beckman.
So yeah, struggle bus, nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, Rod Smith was also an interim. You're not giving him any credit. He was 0-1.
Like I said,
Lovie Smith was 17 and 39. Good Lord!
I didn't realize he was there that long.
Bill Cubit 5-7. Tim Beckman 12 and 25. Let's give Vic Koenig some credit here, 1-0.
Okay.
As the interim. Goodness, Ron Zook was 34 and 51.
Would you have thought it was better than that?
I didn't think it was that bad. Ron Turner 35 and 57. Lou Tepper 25 and 31. You have to go back to John Makovic to find a coach at Illinois that ended his tenure with a winning record. That was 1988 to 1991.
So you're saying it's a bad job?
Well, not counting Vic Koenig, by the way. Sorry, he was 1-0. My bad. Sorry, I'm saying it's a tough job.
Vic it's a brutally difficult job.
This century,
it's got to be one of the harder jobs in the country.
If he gets one more win, he will have as many winning seasons this century as the rest of Illinois has had combined.
Wow.
This will be their 6th winning season this century. Bielema will have had 3 of them, assuming he gets one more.
That is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Are any of those like vacated wins?
crazy.
Do we know?
No.
No, I'm just saying, like, did they have
Has
like a
to be.
10-win season
No.
that's now like a 2-win season?
No, they
Nah.
just
Oh, they had to.
you know,
have.
I think this is all
Stone.
straight
They
up.
had to have.
The weird part about it
maybe
is
one
like,
of Lovey's.
I mean, you would think like proximity to Chicago that you would be able to recruit there, and then I don't think you're not too far from Indianapolis, I don't believe. Like, I mean, I know it's not. I'm not saying it's Miami, and I'm not saying it's Atlanta. I'm not saying it's Dallas, but like, you do have access to some players. I mean, you look at like what Eli's doing with St. Louis and how many great players he's gotten, 5-star guys he's gotten there. Like, you would think you'd be able to grab some of those guys and be able to put some things together. And even like the portal of guys who leave those areas and want to get back closer to home. Like, that's where the South Alabamas have found some success, places like that. Like, they'd be able to say, all right, well, we know you went to play at Ohio State, or you wanted to try Alabama. Like, now you want to come back home and play and like get close to home, whatever. I don't know. And I don't know, like, from a facility standpoint where they are, whatever. He's doing an awesome job, though. And now I have like 10 times more respect for the job he's doing looking at these numbers than maybe I ever thought that I would. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Oh, he's doing great.
Now, right before John Makovic, Mike White had him at 47 and 41. So he set the table.
Okay.
Mike White did.
Yeah.
6 games above 500. Gary Mueller went 6 and 24.
Oh boy.
Jim Valick was 8 and 32. I think we started the bad box score of the day by talking Illinois head coaching records.
To be fair, Gary Moeller was
That'll do it.
6, 24, and 3.
Forgive me. Yeah.
The old
Wasn't
times.
that bad. Could have lost 3 more.
Robert Zupke was 131, 81, and 12.
Okay.
Imagine
Zupke?
coaching
Did
from
we double-check
1913.
the pronunciation there.
Zupke. Imagine coaching from 1913 to 1941, and you had 12 ties. 12 times you walk away from the game, and you're like, well, we were just as good as they were.
We didn't lose.
Yep, we had
We
him.
didn't lose, Coach. You know what, Billy? We didn't win either.
Sometimes sometimes not losing is as good as winning.
You know, Zupke had a guy on staff like that too. Coach, we didn't lose.
No
We
doubt.
didn't win. And they'd always go back and forth on it. The head coach would be all mad, and like the OC's like, "Hey, we didn't lose, Coach. No L today." And he's just furious
No
that
L.
the guy's happy about it.
How could you not be? You know they'd be furious.
Unbelievable. And now we leave you
Tough
with
job.
the longest tenured Illinois football discussion in the history of this show. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you got as much out of that as we did. Because I didn't even go into Justa Lindgren, who was 10-5-2 in his career as the Illinois head coach.
Oh, so he was the first juice.
Justa.
Justa.
For a long time.
He's just a Lindgren. What about Fred Lowenthal? Y'all didn't ask about him. 14-6-1. He got it rolling
Freddie
back
Lowe?
in
Oh,
back
football
in
Fred,
1904,
baby.
1905. He got a better deal and got out of there. He learned. He knew. Clyde Matthews was 9-2. George Washington Woodruff, had no idea George Washington coached at Illinois. He was 8-6-1 all time. So there you go. You know the first coach in Illinois football history?
No idea.
Scott Williams. Now you know. See? Now you can go. In 1900, the coach was Fred L. Smith. He was 7-3-2. He would leave to go start FedEx.
Same guy? Same family for sure.
I have no idea.
It's gotta
if
be
that's
his
real or
dad,
not.
granddad.
I don't know if that. I have no idea if that's a real thing or not. It's completely made that up. But yeah. Okay, we're going to break. Back with more next. All right, the Illinois chatter will now die on the show. And we'll come back to the SEC, a couple of games there that we need to discuss. On the other side, we'll stick with your phone calls, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. Also, you can tweet in at Mac and Cube, be a part of the show there. Listen online, jocksfm.com. Apps in your app store, you can go grab that. And don't forget about the weather cooling off. You don't want to get caught in the cold. Schedule your system checkup now from a Train Comfort Specialist. Train has been recognized 11 consecutive years as America's most trusted HVAC brand. And our exclusive home comfort partners here at Jocks. Visit Train.com to find a comfort specialist near you. South Carolina, Texas A&M, Missouri, Mississippi State. Obviously, we'll talk more Alabama and Oklahoma, as well as Georgia, Texas. All that and more next, coming up right here on Jocks.